Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. This is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So tonight we continue where we left off in our... Last time we were here, we were talking about Part 2 in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Here we are going to continue off by talking about Part 3. So here we are again, guys. To discuss
I won't
that.
go for all the thingies like we normally do, but you've done it for the other bit. So,
yeah.
However, what can I say about it before we start?
Well,
we've said it all before, haven't we?
Well, it was filmed and edited, I guess, before COVID hit in 2020. Yeah. So that was when it was released.
Yeah, look, it's done pretty good so far, and the storyline is still fresh.
Yes,
which is great. And the girl playing Sabrina, something around Shipka, I can't remember her first name. She's doing a really good job holding it together. She's cute, she's funny, and and she's attractive, and she's all you expect Sabrina to be. And but it's obviously a darker version of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but it's really, really good.
Yes.
I wasn't going to say that. I think I said it before the other day that I think anyone can watch this and enjoy it. I'm 70. Sarah is
38.
It's aimed at a younger audience primarily, obviously late teens, early 20s, that sort of thing. But I think anyone can enjoy this, and I'm enjoying it.
Well, there's the young person who looks young, but there is also the young at heart.
Exactly.
That also enjoys it. And
I like it. Yeah. So I enjoy watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel. I'm going to be going through Riverdale very shortly, you know. I also like things like The Walking Dead and stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's a long series we don't think we'll cover on
in
this
the Game of Thrones. I don't mind watching series if they've got a good storyline. Yeah.
Anyway, so I'll dive into the story.
You might as well.
Considering. So the story takes off where Sabrina is plan on going to hell to get her boyfriend back from hell. He's Nick Scratch, as you well know. In the last episode in Part 2, he ended up, he absorbed Satan himself inside him.
To be like a human prison for him.
And Madam Satan has now become the Queen of Hell.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone has to do it. And Sabrina... she tries to get her life back together by continuing where she left off and trying to find a way to bring back Nick, obviously. She also becomes a cheerleader, and her friends form a band, which I think is...
Lame. Harvey can't sing for shit.
Hey, watch it.
Ros isn't bad.
Hey, watch the language, especially on this channel.
Theo's pretty good, but
Theo's... and Rosalind, she sings a good note.
Yeah, that's great. If they're not being dubbed, they're quite good.
Yeah, if it's not lip synced or anything like that.
No, they might lip sync it. Do a recording and they do it and they play it. But if it's their voices,
that's the thing. Sometimes an actor can get another actor to do the voice.
Yeah. So anyway, irrespective. Carry on.
So anyway, but so far, Madam Satan in hell is not getting accepted by the demons down there. They see her as Satan's concubine and nothing else.
Well, she was.
Which she was, technically. She was Leah,
someone's got to do the job,
Adam's first wife and Satan's first, concubine. When he came to Earth, obviously. Anyway, so Sabrina and her friends, they make a point of going to hell using the Dorian Gray's painting.
Dorian Gray got some artwork in there, and they're portals.
Yeah.
If you say the right magical spells, sort of lines, you can open the doorway and walk through. So what the idea is, Nicholas has been in hell for about a month.
Yes. So
that could be an eternity in his time.
True. Anyway, so they make a point of going in there, and it's like the Wizard of Oz with a bloody trail, like the bloody red road instead of
bloody red road instead of a yellow brick road.
Yeah.
They come across a Tin Man, don't they?
Yeah, that looks like Tommy, Harvey's brother, obviously, who is long deceased. But don't be fooled,
It's
audience.
not Tommy,
Most of these people are not who they claim to be.
Yeah.
Of course, Theo runs into her uncle who's in hell, and she thinks maybe if she asks Madame Satan really nicely, if she can let her uncle go, leave here and go to heaven.
Yeah.
Even though he's had his own set of problems.
Yeah, he got possessed though. It
He
wasn't
got
his
possessed,
fault he got
but
possessed.
he was probably a bad person even before he got possessed.
A little bit bad,
Anyway, they continue on and they nearly get attacked by some other people who look like Rosalind's grandma and the principal that got killed by Madame Satan's hands when he tried to prey on her in the first season.
Exactly.
I mean, for part 1, obviously.
Whatever.
Anyway, so... Of course, these ones are not them, obviously, but eventually Madame Satan demands Sabrina's presence there, and eventually she summons her, and she tells her that they need to anoint Leaf to become the Queen of Hell, even though she already did that in part 2 at the end of that one, obviously.
Oh. Got anointed. It was unofficially she took over, I think.
Yeah, there was no witnesses aside from a few humans. It's their words against the demons.
But having Sabrina anoint her into the position, her being Satan's daughter, so that sort of stuff. It gave more credibility.
Of course, when she's looking Nick in the eye, she sees her father there, and he tells her that she's the rightful heir to the throne, and Leaf is just a woman that Satan didn't really have a romantic attachment to. Of course.
A bit of rumpty bumpty.
Just like I said, concubine, and most historic things will tell you that sometimes a concubine would not become queen in such cases.
No, just another working girl.
Yes. Anyway, so she decides to she's approached by the 3 demons of the kingdoms down of hell, obviously. There's like a lot of ranks down there, like kings and other stuff. Anyway, they tell her that she must do this quest thingy along with this other contendant to probably be the next king of hell.
They made up an identity, a person thing down there called Caliban. They made him out of clay. Funny that, eh? And he's a rival for the throne of hell.
Yeah. And there they come with the challenge to get access to some unholy relics.
3 of them. Now, what were they? One was 30 pieces of silver that Judas was given.
Yeah, and Pontius Pilate's bowl, which he washes his hands in.
And what was the other one?
And Herod's crown.
Herod's crown. Herod was responsible for killing all those firstborn children in Israel.
As I said before, this has a little bit of Christianity in this one, so if you guys don't want to hear that side, I suggest not to.
It's relevant because they're Christian thingies. Not Christian, but they were related to Christian theology. Yeah. And that they were unholy because Herod was not a holy man. He was a criminal type guy. He nasty killed all his kids off. Pontius Pilate killed Christ. He washed his hands. So that becomes not a very nice thing. And Judas, 30 pieces of silver, which is blood money. So they're not holy relics. They're evil relics.
That's what I said. Evil relics. Anyway, so Sabrina is challenged to get these relics, and in order to secure the crown for herself, obviously. But she makes a point of making Leaf her regents. Yeah,
so she tricked everybody because Sabrina did it not because he wanted to, because he was forced into it, but she made Lilith her advisor.
Yeah.
So technically speaking, Lilith is still running the show. Yeah.
Yes. So they soon enough get access to Nick, and they return to their world, obviously. And here, they put him inside a dungeon that's in the Witches' Academy with a circle of salt.
I see a circle of salt and a pentagram and different.
There's no pentagram.
Just a circle of salt.
Just a circle of salt. According to some witch stories, they say a circle of salt will protect evil getting out or evil coming in.
Yeah. Okay.
So it sort of helps.
Whatever.
And of course, there's iron chains to make sure the devil's.
Iron's always better for some reason. I think it's because it's more of a natural product instead of steel and stuff. Yeah.
Anyway, so Sabrina, he's left there and yet Sabrina doesn't tell her aunts. She continues to keep secrets throughout the series.
The only point of this season. They don't know that she has got a good job offer.
Yeah, they don't know about that likely she'll become Queen of Hell. We don't know.
Yeah,
so,
bugger. Yeah.
She doesn't tell them anyway. So
I wouldn't.
So by the second episode, I think it was, there is some visitors coming to town. It was also predicted in part 2 that there was some unexpected visitors arriving to their town. Turns out to be a carnival of sorts. You know, one of those ones where you have belly dancers.
Well,
and
you know the
like
travelling carnivals that go around.
And the usual freak show if necessary.
Freak shows and fortune tellers and belly dancers and the usual sort of crap. Yeah.
Anyway, everyone's excited, and of course, when they do manage to get the Satan out of Nick, they kind of let me see what happens. Oh yeah, Ambrose and Prudence they finally find Blackwood, who was on the run. He was actually in Loch Ness.
In Scotland, at Loch Ness, trying to summon up some sort of demon to give him some sort of egg which has mystical powers.
Yes, of course they catch up to him and put his kids, who are fully grown, because this area is sort of in a time
he's some sort of Sodime vortex loop type thing. So 15 years have gone past. So he took the kiddies there when they were almost a year old, big old babies,
And but now they're 15
about 15,
or 16.
16. Yeah.
And of course they're placed in a nice, safe environment inside a dollhouse.
Yeah, they somehow or other they shrunk them down. Yeah, but it's like a nice prison. How's that?
Yeah, of course. Anyway, so of course Blackwood he's been used as the possible way of transferring the soul of Nick's the Satan to Blackwood, but of course he's still feeling the side effects to being possessed by Satan, and of course they continue. Like part of his foot starts changing and altering.
Or getting itchy and stuff, and then feel like it's going through a change and getting a cloven hoof, as it were.
Yeah.
Or something.
Anyway, back to the carnival. So eventually the group assembled to go to this carnival of sorts, and there they see some extraordinary weird stuff there. Yeah. Also, I should mention Theo made a new friend named Robin, a nice boy, obviously, who just also came to the town recently too. Isn't that right?
He certainly did.
Yes, in my opinion, there's usually a coincidence about that.
Yes, I mean something's wrong here. Yeah, okay.
Yes. Anyway, so which kind of shows that she is developing more and more her womanly side in when she hangs out with Robin. Isn't that right?
Yeah, exactly right. Because she's transgender, whatever.
She's transgender. Yeah. She's still dressing like a boy, and it still hasn't changed, going back to her name Susan or Sue.
Susie or whatever, yeah.
So she still called herself Theo. And yet...
A girl can be called Theo, I think.
Yeah, that's
Theodora.
True. That's true. Anyway, it's not an issue anyway. So, anyway, moving on. So, of course, we realise that these carnival people, they're not who they claim to be. Turns out they're pagans.
Yeah, and
from the old world.
And they worship the older gods. You know, yeah.
And
I don't like witches because I think didn't witches kill them off?
Yeah,
the
something
pagans
like that.
Years ago or something. Yeah.
They tried. They also the witches, the present witches, are losing their powers And seeing as they're not worshipping Satan, they're not worshipping Lev, and everything is at a standstill, meaning their powers are stopped anyway. So
they're dribbled, they're gone.
Anyway, so they're trying to find a way to get themselves their powers back, obviously, and of course, at this point in time, Nick kind of accidentally let Satan loose. Well, not accidentally Satan loose. He was kind of...
He was manipulated.
Yeah, because
That's not weird, isn't
Nick
it?
was starting to develop... even though aside from trying to gain over the added possession he was being possessed, he starts developing a fetish for pain and trying to use pain as a way of getting over his trauma.
He's going to.
He was going to demon brothels, if that's a term.
Yeah, and he wanted to experience pain, not so much pleasure, pain. Yeah.
Yeah, and even the devil kind of brings up and says that, oh, you're so drawn to that sort of thing. You were drawn to the agony that I gave you, all that stuff.
Aren't you lucky?
Aren't you lucky indeed? Even the kids at the school thought about that with Nick, obviously. Even that girl named, what's her name? Dorcas?
Dorcas, what a name. Dorcas McLorcas, yeah.
Well, she's still obsessed with him, but not too long.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, soon enough, the witches are preparing their picnic where they're using, they're using the angel blood that they killed. They didn't kill an angel that was going to attack the witches in the part 2, and they used some of its blood to hopefully get their powers back. Of course, Dorian drinks it up like he was his fight.
It's like a power boost. One of those caffeine drinks.
He was asking. He was trying to boost his beauty. Give me a break. Talk about
Well,
it.
he's a good looking fellow.
Anyway, so. But it didn't work anyway. Well, not really.
He's already good looking.
He's already good looking. Give me a break. Anyway, so they used the littlest amount they had to make it into a scented oil. Oil too.
Yeah, they could rub it on the skin and then absorb it somehow or other. Yeah.
When the pagans arrived at their picnic, they tried to welcome them with open arms and mooncake. Of course, when they see them, mistreating animals like a snake that attacked a witch, and Helda taking a spider in hopes of putting it into her collection, they cursed Sabrina, or at least one of their fortune tellers cursed her using her spell, and they kind of made one of the girls turn to stone, because one of the pagans there is a gorgon.
Yeah, so she can turn people into stone.
Yes.
Well, there you go then.
Well, she's carrying around snakes. What does that tell you?
She likes snakes?
That's true.
Yum.
Anyway.
Yummy. That tastes very nice.
So most of the time, these people, they look like ordinary human beings, but when they start turning into the creatures that they are, the ringmaster, I think, is...
It
turns out he's Pan, the god of joy, or stuff, who carries around that flute that allows you to become so joyful. And he kind of does this to Agatha, who makes her mad with crazy joy.
Mad as he was.
Because, it makes her crazy, obviously. Anyway, so let me see. Oh yeah, they then try to use the oil stuff, and when the full moon arrives, it bathes them in a warmish glow, a coolish glow.
They're lovely. Really pretty.
But somehow the pagans, they kind of dissolve the moon.
Yeah, they did a spell where they ate the moon cake, and every time they ate a piece of moon cake, part of the moon was obliterated.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So as they ate the cake, the moon just diminished. Mm-hmm. Not bad. Pretty good. Yeah, a bit like an eclipse, but not. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, while this is happening, let me see. Let's see what happens. A lot of other stuff starts happening around, I think, Greendale, obviously. Like Harvey wants to have sex with Rosalind, obviously.
And who wouldn't? He's a young man and she's a young girl. And
yes, of course, when they found out about the pagan stuff from Sabrina, they decided to go exploring the tents and stuff. And soon enough, Rosalind comes face to face with the Gorgon and suddenly slowly turns into stone.
Yes, she starts feeling cold and not feeling well, and after over a few hours, she turns into a
stone statue.
Stone statue. Woo.
Yes. Anyway, meanwhile, all that's happening, Sabrina is continuing her quest to make sure that she continues to get, the items. Like, she did get the Herod's crown, obviously, and it gets taken by what was the Caliban.
He stole it. And he's
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
Bugger,
And let me see. She finds the bowl and manages to get it away, obviously.
So 1-1.
Yeah. Yes, and she does get the coins eventually,
Yes.
but I'll get to that part later.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Tricky.
so Sabrina has been jumping back and forth from her witch friends to her human friends. So and to hell, obviously, which is a lot of burden for a girl who's also trying to get into cheerleading too. When you think about it,
Yeah.
that's a lot on her plate. Anyway, they tried many ways of trying to get their powers back by summoning some ancient witches who that might help.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they might help them by bringing back their powers, because their powers, I think, are still
Very strong. Yeah.
So they use some special rocks, like Stonehenge rocks.
Yeah, they made a stone circle inside the academy there,
Yeah.
and they summoned them there, and in a nicest possible way.
Yeah, of course. As they're about to summon using using a metal device that Ambrose brought with him, Agatha, in her psychotic state,
And manipulated by Blackwood.
starts.
Blackwood or Satan?
I think Blackwood or Satan.
Well, yeah, got into
he's
her
been
head.
He's been, hovering all over the place, non-stop. Anyway. So, she crashes one of the stones, obviously.
And breaks the summoning spell a bit too early.
Yes.
So, but they didn't know whether it actually worked. But it did.
Yeah, the witches come. They attempt to, thanks to their summoning, they thought, you better have a good reason for summoning
Otherwise, we're going
us.
to destroy you all.
Of course, they calm them down. Say, cool, we'll get you some whiskey. We'll talk this
not
out.
Whiskey,
Okay,
gin.
gin.
But Zelda negotiates peace with them and explains why they've been summoned. So that's not too bad.
Yes, and each witch of those particular witches, they have a
Their own
unique
special,
power.
Their own main power they've got. Yeah.
Yeah, some of them probably date back to probably gosh knows how long ago, because of the way they're dressed and stuff like that. But it's not
Well,
always.
didn't go to Walmart, did they, or Kmart or anything?
Yeah. One of which looks like she's decked up in bandages, like she's she's a mummy, obviously.
Mummy dearest.
Of course, we also meet the same witch we saw in part 1, the one that summons that has children or ghosts around her.
She was up in the mountains or something like that. Yeah, they weren't all dead witches. They were
They were
a bit of fringe dwellers out of society. They weren't members of any covens or anything.
Yeah, one particular witch, which is not really a witch, it's more of she's a voodoo priestess, I think.
From down New Orleans.
Who, she wasn't summoned, but she wanted to help.
Well, she was actually, because I think...
according to Prudence, she asked her to come, obviously.
Yeah, someone asked her to come, and she arrived at the same time.
Yes.
But she was asked to come, yes.
Yeah. So, at first, Zelda and her kind of butt heads a couple of times.
Well, because the Cajun lady from New Orleans is actually has Christian roots, and this is a black society. So there's there are sort of cross. There's a bit of a problem here, you know.
Yeah, but eventually, Zelda realized that the more the merrier, and decided
and they have a common enemy.
Yes.
Wow.
And so she allows her to stay and maybe help them get something done, obviously. Anyway, soon enough, let me see what happens. Also, let me see what happens. Oh yeah, eventually Blackwood was able to infiltrate the pagan guys, and I think he finally did remove his soul from his whatever, later on, obviously.
They separated Blackwood and Satan somewhere or other. Yeah.
Madam Satan goes into hiding, and she tries to hide out with the witches, but Zelda turns them away. And of course, she goes to the woman who resembles her and pretends to be her late Adam.
Yeah, so she gives a cloaking spell, what do you call it, make it look like him,
Of course, Blackwood arrives pretending to be a priest and saying that Satan has arrived at her doorstep. And
he has.
and he soon gets her as Adam, and somehow she transforms into her Madam Satan look, which is exactly like the woman she was.
Bugger.
The teacher, obviously.
And he tells her to go and
get lost.
No, he gives her a job to go and kill somebody.
Yeah, he told her about how the witches, Sabrina and her aunts were the ones that killed her husband, I think it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he gets Madame Satan, and she gets her to separate him from Blackwood, obviously. And Blackwood goes over to the pagans with a bit of a bargaining and stuff, thing, obviously. He also has Agatha with him, so anyway, let me see. Oh yeah, while all this is happening, Helder is slowly turning into a spider. A giant spider.
She was cursed by one of the
witches. Pagan witches. And she killed her. Not really, actually. She didn't kill him. I think she kind of.
She put him in a cocoon.
Yeah,
and she was going to eat him later.
Yeah, of course. Zelda arrived, and she shoots her sister and plans to bury her in the special graveyard.
And which help her
wake up.
Yeah. Well, what do you do? Reanimate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, while this is happening, Sabrina's teacher, arrives there and shoots Zelda, obviously.
Yes.
Yes. And of course, using the voodoo witch, obviously, she starts trying to help make sure that helps by removing the bullet and along with.
And then doing some spells and incantations and stuff and different
While
things.
Zelda is on a spiritual journey within her head or within limbo to find out an answer and stuff.
Yeah, so she's staying unconscious for a while and everything is going to get better in her own good time.
Yes.
Yeah, so she actually... She meets Helga in there because Helga's dead at the moment. Still hasn't been reanimated yet. And who they meet?
They meet her late dead brother,
which was
Sabrina's dad.
Oh yeah, the one that raised had her. To deal with the devil. That guy. Yeah.
He also gives them a tour of the past, like things like from Zelda's past to Sabrina's when she was a baby, and to the future, like a little bit like Christmas Carol, a little bit.
Goes to Christmas past, present, and future. Yeah, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Anyway, it also has different types of moons symbols throughout. You see,
waxing moon, waning moons, three-quarter. Yeah, that sort of stuff. They're all relevant.
Yeah. Anyway, so soon Blackwood arrives there and he kills a voodoo witch lady, and he kills Prudence, and he kills. Let me see. Oh yeah, he kills Zelda, and of course, Sabrina is meanwhile is still in limbo, trying to get the coins, obviously, and she eventually gets them to Judas Iscariot statue, and
he kind of just hold them for a moment,
and it turns out to be not him all along, and somehow she turns into a statue, and of course both Satan and Lucifer, Madam Satan, have been turned into statues, and she is about to be turned into one. Oh, I should mention Harvey, Rosalind and Theo, they get caught by the pagans, which they plan to sacrifice one of them to their man god thingy, who they select Harvey because he's the most likely a virgin, because Rosalind isn't a virgin. Theo is not a virgin, I don't think.
I think she lost it.
Very
recently.
Yeah, and anyway, soon things are falling apart because now we're getting to the final, I think, about the 7th episode, which means everything is falling apart at this point. Everyone is either dead or gone into a hiding.
And of course the pagans are getting the upper hand here, there as well, and
yes,
bit of a jump here.
Yes, we then get much later on, Ambrose is kind of narrating in episode 8 about how the pagans fought the hell lost, the pagans won, don't know how.
However, the older gods won, yes.
The older gods win and
destroyed the earth, pretty much. Because everything up here has been decimated. Even the pagans aren't there. Everything went to poo.
Yes, exactly so, quite right. Anyway, soon enough, Sabrina gets a visitor from inside hell that turns out to be her. And somehow this very version of her transfers her body out of the stone, I guess. And
so she can come and do some groovy things.
She has no knowledge of how long time has passed, because who knows how long she's... It was probably a few years.
Yeah, I reckon it's been 15, 20 years.
Yeah, because...
about 15 years, because she met with Ambrose. He's still reasonably young. He's got a couple of years on him, so it could have been 15 years maybe. Yeah.
Anyway, she goes to the hell, and she finds the throne room is destroyed,
and all dead demons all over the place and stuff.
And she finds the 3 unholy relics there, including their ghosts that haunt the relics. And they said the ghosts haunt these relics because they're the last persons remaining of that. They wherever the relics go, they go. According to them.
So she takes them with her, and they go with her.
Yeah,
to the earthly realm.
Eventually, we do see the present Earth, which is like overgrown, grossed out, stuff like that. And we find out Ambrose is still alive, and he tells Sabrina what occurred. He tells him how Prudence got killed, Zelda died, and he goes on to explain that the remaining humans are being harvested for the blood for their green god.
Yeah.
And whoever else they harvest the blood for. And there's no hope in this timeline. So Sabrina realizes that she needs to find a way to fix things in the past. So she uses the unholy relics and turns them into a special... I don't know what it's called, really.
It's sort of like...
I know it looks like
it's like a mace that the knights used to use. Like a long stick for chain and a metal ball spiked on the end of it.
Yeah. She also has the egg Ambrose he got from Blackwood. I should mention Blackwood in this time. He's lost his marbles.
Yeah, he's living at the college, but he's off the planet.
And of course, Sabrina uses the special evil witch that powder, and got him living his own vivid dream, or his own dream of killing Sabrina and Ambrose. And of course, for a minute, me and Mike thought he got the upper hand on them.
Nah, illusion.
Yeah, in this case, this witch has finally got what she wanted, where she was finally set free in this timeline, obviously.
Lovely.
Anyway, so Sabrina using the mace, and she starts spinning it, and
enchanting something.
Yeah, chanting something, and all the time. I should mention in this one, she has maintained her powers. Now obviously.
Yeah, because he wasn't part of that loop. It's in a time loop. Yeah.
Yeah, as she's spinning the mace thing, we had
Ambrose and those creatures were actually moving the rocks around the circle to create do part of the spell. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And they kept it up, and all of a sudden
the time starts spinning further and further back until we got back to
current time, before all the shit hit the fan.
Yeah. Anyway, she quickly makes her quick plans by getting her aunts and her like Zelda and the voodoo witch doctor out of there and placed into a safer location.
And also
she gets her friends who were also out of there, obviously. And And it's sort of like good timing before they could have gotten caught.
Yeah.
Because they got nearly caught a couple, in such
But then they
weak
set
moments.
something up for the pagans, so the ritual wasn't going to work. What did they do?
Well, Robinson suggested that they had three virgins in mind. One was Theo, one was Harvey, and one was the teacher lady that Sabrina liked. So Harvey being in hiding would mean the teacher was going to be the next subject that would going to be considering she probably might be she was a virgin.
Probably. Oh, maybe not.
Well, they said that they need a virgin blood.
But
which means
Harvey was the only one out of that group.
Yes. Anyway, so her teacher is probably the only virgin in the vicinity because they sent Robin as a bit of a mole to find out if anyone is likely a possible, a possible candidate for their sacrifice. They then. Eventually, the day arrives where the pagans are starting their ritual, where they have the teacher there, and they make a plan of turning her into into the green thingy wing, obviously the green god. And eventually, as they're chanting and as the tree clutches her, suddenly something goes horribly wrong. It turns out that the tree
creature thing. The tree creature structure is made like a wicker man.
Yes.
And they put the person in there, and then the roots and tendrils
are going
to feed off the person inside.
Yeah, I think this bit is funny where she starts yelling lines from the Wicker Man movie. If you watch the original.
The funny part is that it wasn't Harvey. It was this.
Well, it wasn't Harvey. I told you, it was the teacher.
No, what?
Yes, it was the teacher. I told you the teacher was a virgin.
I know what you said about the teacher, but how did she didn't have the power?
Yes, and Harvey went to hiding.
What I was going to say is, somehow or other they killed the plant.
Yes,
and I thought that was that other witch lady.
Yes. Since she did a glamour thing.
That's what I just said.
Yes, and it wasn't Harvey.
It was a witch looking like, yeah.
It wasn't Harvey, I'm trying to say.
I know, but
in the old timeline, it was Harvey because he managed not to escape. But in this timeline, they used the teacher. Give me a break.
The teacher's image.
Yes, using the teacher's image. And of course, Sabrina uses her magic powers to make sure the teacher didn't interfere with their plans by using her hypnotic gesture to make sure that she didn't interfere and forgot all about the fact that the Spellmans were witches. Anyway, soon enough, the tree began to wilt and die and stuff.
Yeah, they kill it. Yeah.
And soon enough, the rest of the group make a plan. Were assembled together and start chopping down the members of the plague. I mean the pagans.
The pagans. Yeah.
Of course, they start running, and eventually they start knocking them down, including Helda, who kind of uses a voodoo doll and crushes that witch who tried to spell cast her into a spider. Oh, I should mention that Helda did eventually got woken up, but using some magic from Zelda and her.
The witches had to wake her up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, soon enough, Pan is the last one to remain, and he tries to use his music on them, but unfortunately, Prudence
snuck up behind, put a sword straight for his guts. Yeah.
Yes, and soon enough, he's dead, and of course, they won this time around, and Sabrina then goes back to hell, where she encounters herself, who is about to take the coins to Judas, but unfortunately Sabrina stops her and tells her, causing a bit of a paradox according to Ambrose, obviously, where she tells her if she goes to the Judas statue, she'll be tricked and she'll be placed in a rock, and then he'd be king,
exactly right.
And of course, Sabrina's alter ego says she would like to be queen eventually. So they have this agreement that one of them will stay in the mortal world.
And Sabrina Morningstar will stay in hell, and Sabrina Spellman will be in the earthly realm.
Yes, giving them a chance to be in two places at once. So Sabrina Morningstar, she goes back to the court, presents the coins to the evil guys, and says, I'm definitely going to be the queen around here. And her father...
Where's Caliban? He's dead.
Yeah, anyway, he's stoned to death. Well, he's already stoned. Anyway, so anyway, she makes preparations for her coronation, whatever. And, she looks like, by the time she's finished getting herself organized, she looks like Queen Victoria, or Queen Elizabeth.
Those big brocade dresses and very voluminous skirts and all that sort of stuff. So it's looked pretty good, but
Anyway, Sabrina Spellman returns home back ready for tea, and she tells Ambrose the full details of the situation. She tells about how now Sabrina Morningstar is now running hell as she fits, while Sabrina Spellman continue her life as a teenager and witch. And of course he's horrified with the idea, because this goes against every single thing that's written in witch lore. And of course...
And paradoxes and different things, and he's really worried now.
Mm-hmm. Anyway...
Like, who's going to hit the fan later?
Yes, so there might be more, drama and stuff like that. I'm sorry that I'm rushing ahead, because most of the stuff is, all over the map when you think about it. There was even an episode where Sabrina tries to send a person to hell, and the guy was trying to, try to buy a couple of years by giving the devil a child or something. It's sacrifice, isn't that right?
Yeah, somewhere there.
Yeah. That's a different episode, obviously, but I wanted to focus on the main story here, where Sabrina is trying to balance her duties of being, of ruling hell, and to being immortal and being a witch. And
who said you can't be in two plays at the same time?
So anyway, that's part 3.
So, it's developing quite nicely.
Of course, whenever I think of parallel universes or different timelines, it does get confusing after a while.
When they go backwards and forwards, where are we now? It's a little like an angel when they went into the other dimension and different things and other. Where are we now?
Yeah.
And Buffy and where are we?
And whether we're dreaming or we're not
dream
dreaming.
Sequences, very confusing sometimes,
Yes,
anyway,
that's what life is like.
Anyway, I'm going to say very little, because obviously I said about the other ones. I'll just say this is continuing the storyline quite nicely, still staying fresh, developing.
It has not kept me bored once.
No.
I was a little surprised that Theo was going to be shacked up with a guy. For a time I thought she was going to, if she's going boy, I thought she might go
like for a girl.
I don't know. I thought that for a bit.
The point is, I think she's a bit confused individual. That's all.
Yeah.
Anyway, irrespective.
She may go both ways.
It doesn't matter.
Maybe not go both ways. But, you can still be a tomboy and still be a girl. Obviously.
Okay.
Go on.
I was going to say,
it's just that most of the media keep on making. Most of the time, in the media they keep saying that. The stereotypes, they continue to get worse and worse.
Yeah, they do a lot of stereotyping in shows. Now, what I was going to say, we won't talk too much about it, because obviously we talked about it in one term. Yeah. What I will say is it's still staying fresh. The storyline is quite good. It's holding its stuff quite nicely, and the actors are still performing, and they're not boring. They're not doing repetition. So, it's holding together quite well. Yes, it's available on eBay and Amazon, yada, yada, yada. All that sort of stuff. Now, I'm going to grade... We graded this about 9.5, was it? I can't remember.
Oh, Mike, you asked me whether there was going to be a 6th or the 5th
A 5th or 6th. I'm not sure. There was some mention of it. I can't find anything on it, so I don't know. Considering it was done in... This part 4 was released in 2020. You'd think it would have been out by now. But Sarah raised a good point that something happens in episode part 4 that would probably stop it being extended. However, I think as Sabrina shows up in a series called Riverdale, doing some cameo stuff but using a different name. But she's still a witch.
Cool.
So there you go. Yeah, I'm going to start watching Riverdale. I haven't seen it yet, so.
Well, I'm sticking to till we get to
after
part
I
4,
finish
obviously.
Sabrina, yeah. But no, I'm going to just hold the 9.5. It's really good, well done, and considering, and I will say this, they've got multiple directors for each episode. You know, like here we go. Just for example,
That's the whole point.
I've got to pronounce here. In season 2, I got to see the last part of season 2. Number 7 was directed by Antonio Negret, and episode 8 was Kevin Sullivan. Episode 9 was Rob Seidenglans. And now Rob also did the first one of season 3. He did episode 3, season 3.
Yeah.
He did season 8, season 3. But the other people, Alex Philai, he did episode 2. Someone called Viet Nguyen did episode
This is why
4.
we often don't mention directors in this.
No, but then saying
It'd be too long.
Considering you've got multiple directors, it's holding a storyline and the style isn't there. It's just not wavering.
Well, that's exactly.
So all the directors seem to be on the same page. That's what I was trying to sort of say.
Well, that's the whole point. I mean, if they shifted from the formula or the feeling from it behind it
good.
and going in a different direction, it will ruin the story, and your audience will be dropping off, which would often be the case in some movies.
So much, but it spreads the web, because obviously if they're doing these close together, it's good to have a director putting it together and doing some scenes, and then the actors go from bouncing group to group, so it goes a bit faster that way. But holding it together really good.
Yeah.
So I'm very pleased with what the directors are doing. So like I said, Amazon, blah blah, eBay, yeah. It's all, I said it before. It's in about 9.5, still holding up well. So there you go then.
As I said in the past, guys, we often never talk about the directors or the writers in
but this is
TV
a multiple
series.
one where lots of people have got their fingers in the pie, and it still feels like one director.
Yeah, because most of the time in some TV series, a director would want to go on a break or sabbatical,
go to the toilet maybe,
just might hand it over to another director, and they would carry on the same feeling that one, obviously.
Well, when you look at Psycho, the original Psycho was done by Alfred Hitchcock. Then they did a sequel. The first sequel was about 20 years later, being the time that Anthony Perkins' character, Norman Bates, was being released from the Nut House. But they had a new director. But he did it in the Alfred Hitchcock style to carry on the same feeling. And he did it quite well. I can't remember who it was, but he or she did it quite well. And so it's really good to find directors who can actually strut the stuff properly.
Yeah, anyway, so that's part 3. I don't know if we're going to... Should we rate this one?
I just did.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't rate it.
9.5.
Okay.
And I'm waiting for you to get your bum into gear and actually rate it.
Okay, so I'm going to give it 9.5 out of 10 myself, obviously. I mean, I think the story is pretty interesting, and the fact that they kind of brought in some other ancient things. I always thought pagans and witches, they kind of side by side type same thing.
The pagans worship the older gods.
Yeah.
They're supposedly pre-God, pre-Satan. How's that? Okay? Yeah. As far as I'm aware, and that's
probably why.
Yeah, but you think the things like the Lovecraft or Cthulhu and different other people, those really weird guys, the old ancient gods who came up in the Roger Corman movie sometimes. Those sorts of creatures that perhaps predating current theology. So, and they were killed off by the witches. Who were working for the devil, who didn't want to have any competition, that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
so,
because they also thought they probably thought the demons, the witches, were low individuals, and unlike them, thinking they're the superior being.
Yeah, exactly right. Anyway,
although when you think about it, when in the different timeline, when in the future it showed that things were were really, really kind of affecting the environment, obviously.
Yeah.
Destroying what...
I just can't understand that the last bit where when in the future, supposedly all the people being killed off to feed the green whatever it is, the green god. What happened to all the demons? All the pagan worshippers? The circus was in ruins.
Yeah, it was like
I didn't see one of them hanging around. Yeah,
it was like that they just ate the fruit and just poisoned themselves or something.
I don't know. But
they said they were gonna. I should have mentioned this before, that they were going to invite the people from Greendale to come to the carnival for free caramel apples and other stuff,
and poison them all,
and probably poison them all. Of course, I think. They used to sleep. I should have said this before, but I was trying to rush ahead.
Yeah,
obviously.
So they put all the townsfolk to sleep so they wouldn't go to the carnival.
Yeah,
that's a good. I wish someone would do it to me.
Ooh.
I haven't had a good night's sleep for about 10 or 15 years.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so they managed to save the day, and for now. But I think
until the next season.
Of course,
part 4.
I find it interesting that way to the end of the episode 8, Helen's boyfriend somehow survived. He was wrapped in a cocoon and was soon dead.
Yeah, he could have been stung. You see, he's a succubus, so he's a celestial being, or whatever you want to call him, or whatever he is, a mystical being. So maybe he can't be killed that easily. So he got stung by Hilda,
yeah, spider.
And maybe it wasn't enough to kill him, and she wrapped him up in a cocoon, and he came back to his normal happy self again, and she'd been recreated back into her old self, because once she died, after her sister killed her and then buried her, and she came back to life, the curse was broken, so she's no longer a spider lady.
Yeah, even in the old timeline, it kind of made out that Salem was died. Even...
Well, cats don't live all that long.
True. But he was still a demon or a creature that lived in the woods.
Why can't they cut his head off?
Anyway, I should mention that the new boy named Robin, he turns out to be a hobgoblin. I think I don't know what hobgoblins are.
I know, I can't remember.
But according to him, he moves like a cheetah really fast. He kind of had that ability. He kind of did it with when he
That's right, he helped them in the library, didn't he?
Yeah, he got them to escape really quickly, away from me.
I thought, how'd that happen? What happened there? Yeah, he did that. He saved them. He's a nice little fellow.
Yeah, away from the evil baddie guys.
Anyway, do I kill it now?
Yes. So that's the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, part 3. So we'll try to get arranged to do the next one very soon, before you this week eventually.
Get them out of the way so we can get on to something else.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll move on to something else.
SquarePants. I just can't. No. Okay,
nope.
Sorry. No.
Anyway, that's...
Tinkerbell.
No.
No.
One word and I'll kick you. Anyway, that's it from us, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope you guys will be available for our next one. Hopefully, the next one will be a doozy for you. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Enjoy it, and I hope you guys will see you then. All right, that's it from us. So thanks for listening to us, everyone. This is Sarah Stephenson
and Michael
saying see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review. Bye for now, and have a good week.
Bye, guys.